I'd like to introduce Sajah. Thank you. Back to the program.
Alright, doesn't help that I'm short. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. My name is Sajah. I'm from a small town south of Lebanon called Khiem, which translates to the tent. Khiem is not known for its beautiful nature, not for our olive trees, not for our cedar trees. It's known for its prison. A prison that has been used under Israel's control to torture innocent men and women. Al Khiem prison is also known for being the largest interrogation and torture prison in Lebanon. Lebanon itself endured a 20-year-old occupation by Israel. As a kid growing up in the UAE, we would visit Lebanon every summer. I feel like I'm short. The prison was my favorite place to go to because deep down, I knew the stories it held and the history behind it. However, during the 2006 war, Israel had destroyed the prison as a method to get rid of evidence. And just last Friday, they have striked again, sending down white phosphorus onto houses near the prison. Growing up, we learned about Palestine in school and what is not real is capable of. And deep down, we knew that Israel will eventually lose its control over Palestine. Growing up, we always knew that the liberation of Palestine is near, and nothing in this life is permanent, especially not an illegal occupation. Again, thank you all for coming today. We stand here on a land that has experienced brutal acts done by European colonizers who claimed a land that was not theirs. Just like the Zionist agenda claiming Palestine as a land without a people for a people without a land, this slogan still stands because it was never intended to be literal, but rather colonial and ideological. This phrase is another way of expressing the concept of terra nullius, which translates as nobody's land. This concept is one form or another played a critical role in legitimizing the erasure of the indigenous population in virtually every settler colony and establishing the legal and moral justification for seizing native land, just as we have seen happen to the indigenous people of Australia. I would like to correct our dedicated keyboard warriors who are defending Israel by calling us anti-Semitic. Yeah, funny. And the fact that we have to correct ourselves and say that anti-Zionism does not mean that we are anti-Jews. I repeat, being against the ongoing occupation that is happening by the Zionists does not mean we are against Jewish people. It means we are against the terrorist group that is hiding behind the Jewish religion, chanting for the freedom of Palestinians and the right to return is not anti-Semitic. This is not a religious war, and it never was. Before 1948, Jews, Christians, and Muslims all lived peacefully in Palestine, traded with each other, and took care of one another, as it should be, to be honest with you. The former Israeli Education Minister, Shlomo Aloni, during an interview in 2002 mentioned how using anti-Semitism is a trick that favors them. And I quote, "It is very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitic. and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people, it is to justify everything done to the Palestinians. We can disagree on so many things. We all have our own views and our unique way of thinking. We can disagree on silly things like pineapple on pizza, but we cannot, and I mean we cannot, disagree on whether a genocide is currently happening or not. Palestine is illegally being occupied by Israel for 96 days and 75 years. Israel has been brutally killing Palestinians in the name of what? Self-defense? In the name of a land that never was and will never belong to them? Jews can be Jews as citizens of Palestine, and if any one of us gets called racist, remember it is the son of a well-known Israeli general that said, Israel is a racist, violent state that peddles enormous amounts of sophisticated weapons to the darkest regimes on earth. It holds thousands of political prisoners, denies people water, medical care, food, and even the most basic freedom simply because they are Palestinians. Right now, almost 40,000 Palestinians have been brutally murdered, and the numbers will keep on rising. Every 5 minutes, a Palestinian dies in Gaza. I don't have a watch, but you know, who's counting, right? This won't stop until Israel either achieves their goals to ethnically cleanse and remove the Palestinians out of Gaza, or until they are financially unable to keep the genocide going. And it is because of our pressure and our voices that we are seeing the latter happen. So keep posting, please, please, I beg you, keep putting pressure on the Australian government to stop supporting Israel. Keep talking about Palestine because they need us right now more than anyone else on this planet. Keep chanting for their freedoms and liberation because the liberation of Palestine is a domino effect and it will liberate every single country that has been not only colonized but is going through. Congo, Sudan, come on. Papua New Guinea. Because this has to stop, I mean it, this has to stop. We have come here today to join the millions around the world to demand for this to stop. We cannot allow the ethnic cleansing and the wholesale killing to continue. And it is because our collective voices for a ceasefire and humanitarian aid that we are now seeing nearly every country in the world calling for a ceasefire. Free Palestine. Thank you so much.